Morning, Heather Hobby coming to you live from my dining room. Tips, tricks, tools, and tactics. Blowing up your life as a tactical op. An op that you team lead on and that you execute on. You have the training, you have the team, you have the timeline, and you have the faith in yourself to execute on this op. Why do you have it? Because you've learned. And you've gotten to a point where you're ready, or you think you're ready, or it's just go time. But either way, you're relying on a knowledge base, and you're relying on stuff you have inside you. And you're gonna succeed in your mission, and you're gonna get yourself to safety. The other people in your life who might be impacted, such as your children and your pets. And at the end of it, you're gonna be tired as hell, but you will have set yourself free. So my first tip is understand that you may not actually recognize when you're in an unsafe condition. Maybe you've been managed your whole life. Maybe you grew up in a home where it wasn't okay to be yourself, where you couldn't actually express your opinion and or disagree. Perhaps you've spent your entire life not knowing your own voice because it wasn't safe to develop it, so you became somebody else to be convenient. And then you get really inconvenient to yourself because you wake up every day in a life that's not serving you. So I am here to say that you hear it deep inside. It's in there. It's like echoing around in your soul and in your body. And you ignore it, and you develop these strategies that allow you not to hear it, like la 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 in your own life. So I'm here first of all to say that at the end of the day, our bodies will show us how we're doing. And usually when you're in a situation where somebody is in a power over dynamic, your body starts to fail you, but you keep going because you're trained and indoctrinated, and you just want to stay alive. And at the end of the day, our cells and our genetic encoding is about survival. So give yourself a huge break and know that you're doing awesome. And know that sometimes you need to find ways to survive. So going underground is one of those ways. So don't blame yourself. And if you're sick and if your body feels like shit and you have some coping tools that aren't totally serving you, it's okay. I'm going to teach you some more. So the first thing I want to teach you is that the easiest way to start is to start. But you're scared, right? And you don't want to even recognize the fact that you might have to shake hand your mate, that person that you're married to, or that you live with, or that you have babies with, or that you own a business with, or whatever. You might seriously have to shit can somebody, and you don't know what that's gonna do. So you don't do it. In fact, you avoid doing it and you make excuses. Like, if I could only be heard, if only I could find a way to be heard. Well, guess what? They're not gonna hear you because they don't want to, because they like having you under their control. And they love the fact that you don't know you're being controlled, and they play with you. Just like the way my cat catches a mouse and he bats that around, and the mouse is all like, please, please, don't eat me. And the mouse like runs, and then the cat's like, grr, and then the mouse like runs, and the cat's like this. Well, that's a control dynamic. And you might not even know you're in it because you're just that little mouse who's trying to stay alive. And at the end of the day, the cat has bigger teeth, claws, a body that can pounce and move faster than yours. So you best pay attention to the fact that you do have some superpowers, such as you can hide, you can evade the cat because he can't get his body into certain places. And if you have to, you can completely disappear. And many of us do that. That's okay. You can bring yourself back and you can crawl out of whatever hole you've gone into. And I'm here to say the first way that I found to do it was to start writing down things that were said to me and putting them in places where the person that was saying them would not find them. So for me, it was writing down stuff in the moment, writing the date on it too, putting it inside a picture or in a book that I knew he would never pick up. And I would go back later and I would look at it and I'd be like, that's real, that happened, I documented that. And I wrote it down word for word. And if you need a place to start and you're completely feeling stuck, and in the moment you don't even know what to say when somebody is eviscerating you, which evisceration means to disembowel, and it's oftentimes done with words. If you're being eviscerated in your kitchen by one person with no witnesses, and if you try to stand up for yourself and it only gets worse, then don't stand up for yourself. Not right yet. You got to get some tips, tricks, tools, and tactics. And the first one is know that you heard it, know that it was said to you, and know that you didn't deserve it. Write it down, put it in a place where you can go back to it, where you know that person will not find it. As in, don't keep a notebook of all the shit that they're saying. Do not do that. It's going to get you feeling more scared. Put it in a place you know they'll never find it. Like they're not going to find it. Even if it means taking a sticky note and putting it underneath the sole of your running shoe inside, do it. Go back to it and read it, because that's going to start you on your path, okay? In the meantime, if you're in a situation where you're being physically intimidated, that's abuse. Just because they haven't hit you, if they're physically intimidating you, if they're financially in control of you and using that, that's abuse. If they're scaring your kids, threatening your kids, doing weird fucked up shit to the pets, that's abuse. So sometimes we have to find our way to run an op, to blow that shit up. And sometimes you can't just walk out. So I'm here to share some of my story and to give you tips, tricks, and tools. And one of the things you need is people that are safe, that you can confide in. And that first person is you. You have to be willing to tell yourself, this is real. And you have to give yourself ways to start raising your own power. The first suggestion I have is acknowledge yourself. You don't have to wear a sandwich board on your body that says, I love myself, but you start loving yourself and you tell yourself how fucking great you are, because you are fucking great and you are beautiful and you are smart and you are good and you are kind. Do not mistake your own kindness for weakness. Do not. And do not hold any of this against yourself, because it is not your fault. The reason that you're in this situation is because you're so good and you don't want to quit. So just use that in your tactical op. Let's blow your life up. Okay? Okay, baby? Love yourself first.